Hi everybody, my name is Daniel Morris and welcome to this lesson on how to play Fly Me to the Moon on the ukulele. To help improve your rhythm, melodic playing and your ear, I'm going to break it into 3 parts. First I'll show you how to play the melody, then how to play the chords, and finally how to combine the two in a fingerstyle arrangement. There'll be tabs on screen for you to follow, but you can download the sheet music with tabs and chord diagrams for free. Just follow the link in the description. The melody for this song is almost entirely made up of the C major scale, so if you know that, the song will almost play itself. You just need to worry about the timing. To play the C major scale, we're going to need the open C string, the D on fret 2, the open E string, the F on fret 1, the open G string, the open A string, the B on fret 2, and the C on fret number 3. For this song, we've also got 2 accidentals to help tie in with some dominant chords that we'll talk about later. We've got the G sharp on fret number 4 of our E string, and the C sharp on fret number 1 of the C string. For the first phrase, we start at the top of the scale and descend 5 notes. We then go back up 2 notes before playing the C that we started on, and to end the phrase we descend another 5 notes, this time from a B. The second phrase has the same shape as the first, but we start from another note down the scale, the open A. We descend 5 notes, go back up 2, and play the first note again. We then descend another 5 notes, but we do it from a G sharp this time. This note may sound a little sharp on its own, but with the chords it adds some really nice movement. The third phrase starts with a C sharp and a D on the C string, then 2 open A's, followed by the C and B on the A string and the open G. The fourth phrase starts with the C sharp again, but this time we go down to the open C, then the F on the E string twice, followed by the open A and G, and then the F and open E string. The second verse is the same as the first until the fourth phrase. This time we start with a G sharp on the G string, then go up into an open A, followed by the open C. Even though we use the C major scale for the melody, we're actually in the key of A minor. The reason we can use C major in A minor is that both scales contain exactly the same notes. A minor just starts on an A and C major starts on a C. They're what we call relative keys. A common question I get asked by my students is why is this song in A minor and not in C major? And the easiest way to figure that out is to ask which chord feels the most like home. And in this song I'd say it's A minor. We also start with the A minor chord, and that's usually a pretty good indication of the key we're in. In A minor we have an A minor. We'll also need an A7. We have a B minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished chord. We have a C and C major 7. We'll also need a C7 in this song. We have a D minor, an E minor, and an E7. We're also going to have an F and a G7. Notice that we have a lot of dominant 7 chords in this song. They give us what is called dominant function, which creates a tension that pushes us forward onto a new chord. They take us from the 5 chord, or the dominant chord, to the root, or the tonic, or the 1 chord. So if we want to get to an A minor chord, we count up 5 notes. A, B, C, D, E. And that 5th note, in this case E, we're going to make a dominant 7 chord. This chord will have a note a semitone below the chord that we're going to in it, in this case a G sharp, which is a semitone below an A. This semitone gives us some tension that we can resolve by going to the A minor chord. Remember the G sharp in the melody that we used? This is why we used it. In this song, we're going to need a G7 that will take us to a C, a C7 that will take us to an F, an E7 that will take us to an A minor, and an A7 that will take us to a D minor. And this is where that C sharp from the melody comes from. Dominant function is a great way to add some movement to songs. It can take us to both major and minor chords and is a really good way to change key. I've used a down, down, up, down, up strum pattern for the backing track, and we mostly have a full bar for each chord, but sometimes we do have 2 chords in a bar, and when we do, I've changed to the second chord on the first up strum like this. This push gives us some extra energy. Let's have a listen to how it sounds all together. Now that we can play both the melody and the chords, let's have a look at a fingerstyle arrangement where you can play both together. We start with this A minor chord, adding a C to the top so the melody will ring out. We then play the notes B, A and G before a 3-string D minor chord. Then we're going to play the open G and A strings, followed by the C with our little finger and this G7 chord. We end the phrase with an open G and an A, and then an F and a 3-string C chord. The second phrase starts with an F chord, then take off your middle finger to play the open G, followed by the F that we're already playing with our index finger, then the open E and a D before hammering back onto the F from the open E and an open A. Next we play this E7 chord with your ring, middle and little fingers to keep your index finger free to play the F on the E string, followed by the open E and a D. We end the phrase with an A minor chord and turn it into an A7, which takes us into the third phrase. We start with a D and an open A, followed by a D minor chord. Next we have a G7, then use your little finger to play the C so that the rest of the chord can ring out. For the B, use your middle finger so that you can use your ring and little finger to get the rest of this E minor chord. Then we're going to leave your index finger free to play the A7 chord. For the fourth phrase, while still holding the A7, play the C sharp, then the open C and an F before this D minor 7 chord. We then have a G7 followed by the open A and G and a C sus4 chord, the open E, and we end the verse with an E7 chord strumming a down, down, up, down. This dominant chord takes us nicely to the next verse, which is the same as the first until the fourth phrase. This time, after the A7 chord, use your little finger to play the G sharp on fret 4 of the E string, then move position to bar fret number 5 and play the E and A strings before this D minor 7 chord. To end the song, use your index finger to bar 3 strings on fret number 3, playing this C note on the A string, this C sus4 chord, and this C major chord. This song is a great way to get comfortable in the key of A minor and also C major. It's got all the chords with some great examples of how to use dominant function, and it also uses the full C major scale with a couple of nice chromatic notes that gives you an idea of how you can use them in your own arrangements. You'll find it easier to play it from memory if you know the scale. You just listen to the shape of the melody. Eventually your fingers will just kind of know where to go. You can download the sheet music for free by following the link in the description, and remember to play along with the backing track to help with your timing and your feel. I hope you enjoyed playing this version of Fly Me to the Moon. Let me know in the comments if there are any songs that you want to see in the future. Hit the thumbs up if you found this video useful, and subscribe to the channel to get notified about new lessons, arrangements and jam tracks. I'll see you next time.